Hello, everyone! And just yesterday, Monster Up released a compilation of all Season 10 episodes, where he also added only one secret scene. But trust me, this scene was just insane and I couldn't ignore it at all. Not only was it really creative and entertaining, but it also brought some extremely important piece of information about the lore of the whole Skibidi Zombie Universe series. So in this video, I'm going to tell you all the secret and Easter eggs that I have found in this additional scene that Monster Up added in his Season 10 compilation video. But what's even more important is that I asked him about some exclusive information regarding the next episode, and he shared with me something really important. And what exactly he told me, I'll explain to you by the end of this video, so be sure to watch it to the end, not to miss anything. What really happened to Zombie Scientist, and what new virus he got injected with in this secret scene? What do his hallucinations truly mean? And what role does the Plague Doctor play in all of this? And most importantly, what terrible truth lies between his relationship with G-Man and why it can change your entire perception of this whole series. So if you want to know the answers to all these questions, then get your tea and snacks ready and prepare to watch this video to the end, because I saved the best part for later, just as always. Let's go! But before I'll start analyzing the secret scene in the beginning of compilation of all episodes in Season 10, let me tell you something really important regarding my YouTube channel and what kind of video I am planning to do next, as it's directly connected to Monster Up and his Skibidi Zombie series as well. So if you watched my previous video analyses of Monster Up's most recent episodes, then you should remember that I am planning to make a separate Q&A video where I'll ask him your most anticipated and interesting questions about the future of his Skibidi Zombie series. So I want to remind you once again to write your hottest questions in the comment section under this video so that I could take the most interesting questions of yours and present them to the creator of this awesome multiverse. And I'll also combine your questions with my own, and trust me, what I'm going to ask Monster Up about will truly surprise you. So if you want to participate in the making of this video, don't forget to write your own question under this analysis. And also be sure to subscribe to my channel as well so that you wouldn't miss this video. Okay, so now if you are subscribed and already prepared your question for Monster Up, let's finally move on to the secret scene that he prepared for us. And the scene starts with lost footage-inspired video fragment, where we can see zombie Skibidi scientist who gets injected with the new strain of zombie virus. And by the way, this whole scene really looks like an obvious reference to the iconic cutscenes from the Resident Evil series of games. And the frame where scientist gets injected with the syringe really reminded me of this William Birkin cutscene from the remake of Resident Evil 2. Although the general vibe of this scene reminded me of an older Resident Evil game called Code Veronica. Okay, and in case you forgot how this new strain of virus works, let me explain it to you. So the new invention of Dave aka the Plague Doctor contains a special serum that strengthens the abilities of the characters that were initially turned into zombies. So not only does their physical strength and muscle power greatly increases, but they also get one special additional ability that can turn the wearers of this new virus into the most dangerous opponents you could ever meet in the battlefield. And it means that the wearer gets his own unique animalistic ability, which allows him to unlock some special set of powerful attacks that make him behave like a certain animal. That's why the infected TV man, who we thought to be a traitor at first, got the abilities to make certain weapons out of bats, as that's what his special ability was based on the virus strain that he received directly from the Plague Doctor. And it seems to me that zombie Skibidi scientist got his virus strain based on scorpion type of power, so I believe that his new special abilities will be directly connected to this insect. But wait a minute, it seems like I didn't explain to you the most important thing. Why is zombie Skibidi scientist alive? If I can call a zombie that word, of course. Because wasn't he supposed to get destroyed in the end of episode 24, where G-Man himself used his Hephaestus core in order to finish him off forever? Yeah, sure. But here's the thing, though. In the secret scene that was added by Monster Up in his all-episodes compilation for Season 8, we could notice some sort of safety pod that launched out of the fallen Skibidi scientist puppet that meant one important thing. It was simply the puppet of zombie scientist that got destroyed by G-Man's special powers on that day, while the original scientist managed to escape at the very last moment, and somehow nobody even noticed that. Well, except for G-Man, who decided to pretend that he in fact didn't see anything suspicious. And it is actually pretty easy to explain. G-Man still respects his former friend and colleague, and that's why he wasn't burning with desire to finish him off in the first place, but he had to do it, of course. And I think that G-Man would take on even the smallest chance that scientists can survive and somehow beat this virus and that's why he let him escape. But unfortunately, it seems to me that Skibidi Scientist didn't really escape G-Man wanted him to. Because guess where he had to return after his escape from the destroyed puppet? Yeah, that's right, back to the Plague Doctor's lair. Although I really doubt that Scientist really did this on his own, but he just had no choice. Because all of zombies are merely puppets for the Plague Doctor, and that's why he can operate them and order them to do whatever he wants. So it seems like he needed Zombie Scientist back to his lair ASAP so that he'd stage even more experiments on him. And now we're moving to the most interesting part of this secret scene. As Dave infects Skibidi Scientist with the new Scorpio strain, our poor dude experiences some great suffering because that's what will happen to you when some abnormal crap will delve into your body. And in that moment, his mind starts literally hallucinating, and that got me thinking that there is still some part of the original Skibidi Scientist's mind which is still alive and tries to fight the virus. Or maybe it is his soul which is trapped into the zombie-infected body and tries to get out while remembering all the memories of his past. Because we saw something similar on the example of the infected Titan TV man, whose soul got literally extracted from his infected body for a few seconds and asked G-Man to finish him off, not to make his sufferings longer. And I believe that right at the moment Skibidi Scientist experiences something like this while he is in the immense agony. And by the way, the vibe of this flashback scene also reminded me of another cutscene, this time from Resident Evil 0, where the character was also in pain, and he got visited by his old colleagues which started a conversation with him as he was on the verge of passing away. Although in Monster Up's scene it wasn't Albert Wesker who visited our character but G-Man himself. And you just look at this. It's not just that G-Man we know very well from both Boom's original series and Monster Up's multiverse as well, but the original G-Man in the human body. He steps closer to the POV Skibidi Scientist and tells him, "You know, Scientist, you are stronger than you think." And it even feels like as he was saying these words, he was kind of annoyed. And it seems like Skibidi Scientist couldn't believe his eyes as well as she exclaims, "G-Man?" And then G-Man, in his hallucination, starts blaming Scientist for turning his human body into Skibidi Toilet. And as Monster Up himself told me, he based this secret scene on the rumor that G-Man was initially turned into Skibidi Toilet by the Scientist. And apparently in this multiverse, it still haunts him. And then G-Man even adds that it was Skibidi Scientist who literally destroyed G-Man, although it wasn't really true. And then we start to truly understand something about this scene. So there is no G-Man talking to Skibidi Scientist inside of his head, but there is only Dave who's trying to imply all these miserable thoughts onto Scientist so that he'd completely lose his mind and finally submit to the influence of the virus. And then Pseudo G-Man says, "This virus will make you perfect." And then we can see how he's holding the syringe. And then he adds, "I understand that it hurts you, but believe me, it will hurt even more." And in this awful moment, G-Man's face gets replaced by the mask of the Plague Doctor. And of course, it was Dave who was speaking to Skibidi Scientist all this time. So this secret scene sent literal chills down my spine. And I also believe that the next time we'll see Skibidi Scientist, he will be already consumed by his new virus. Although it is possible that he will face G-Man. And who knows? Maybe he and the rest of the team will have the Atlantis core at this point so that they'll try to cure Scientist. So I was wondering what is next for this awesome series. So just as promised to you, I asked Monster Up on what should we expect in the future. And he said to me that he plans to bring horror back to Skibidi Zombie series once more. So the next episode that we'll see is going to feature lots of references to horror movies as well, such as The Nun. And there's also going to be lots of action in it resemblant of such movies like Bad Boys. And honestly guys, I couldn't be more excited about it. And that was all for today. And be sure to subscribe to my channel so you will not miss my new videos, and also to my Discord where you can contact me directly and get lots of info for my subscribers only. And that was me, ISO Toilet. See ya.